Nitai Yoga TV. Behold the spiritual world. Not bad. The Lord is saying us Tamso ma Jyotirgamaya. From darkness to light. When you discuss Bhaktivinoda Thakur's words, you come to light. From darkness to light. Started? Okay. So, Agyat Sar Atsatsanga Kare Apra. So, we discussed 9 questions. The first 9 questions which Thakur Bhaktivinoda answered about aparad. We come to the 10th question. Kona dosh dhariya ninda karile Vaishnav ninda hoy. If I use this, I won't have to speak too loud. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. So, which are the offenses? Which kind of considerations towards Vaishnavas are considered as aparadh? That is the 10th question posed to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So he answers, Jini Vaishnavira Jati Dosh Kada Chit Arthat Pramad Gat Dosh नष्ट प्राय दोष और शरणागतिर पूर्व चरित दोष धरिया वैष्णव के निंदा करें तीनी वैष्णव निंदुक. ब्यूटीफुल. ताहारो कखौ नामे रुचि होय ना. So first, if one considers the Vaishnava's birth or by caste, which year is born, which country, which race, which gender, which group, or I mean so many things are there. So if one does that, that is offensive. Kadachit arthat pramadgat dosh. This is very tricky. I mean, if a Vaishnava, pramadgata dosh means if a Vaishnava is not chanting properly, he is chanting offensively, that Vaishnava who, and due to that chanting, if some faults are arising in his character, still, if we criticize the Vaishnava based on that faults, that's also ninda. Nashta praya dosh. The third category of faults is that before becoming a Vaishnava, that soul had some faults in his character, and after becoming a Vaishnava, these faults are reducing, but some traces of that faults are still remaining in the character. That is known as Sandhikal. Sandhikal means when you start chanting, you have switched off the fan, but the fan still moves for some time. That is known as inertia. Sandhikal. So after starting chanting, if the Vaishnava still has some faults remaining, like a liquor pot, if you wash the pot, still there will be a smell of liquor. It will not go. Similarly, in Anartha Nivritti stage, Bhajan Kriya, all the previous gandhas of the Vaishnavas are not removed. still there are some traces of those faults seen in the character. If one criticizes a Vaishnava based on that faults, it is Vaishnava Ninda. It's to be very careful. And the last category of faults is 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth category of faults is that if one criticizes a Vaishnava based on what that Vaishnava has done before becoming a devotee. Like if you meet a Vaishnava and said, "Oh, you were meat eater before, you were that, why should I take your association?" After that devotee has started chanting, you still think about his past life. That is also Vaishnava Ninda. Dishtvai svabhava janitair vapusasya doshair na prakritatvam bhakta janasya pashyet. One should never consider or think about the life which the Vaishnava has had before becoming a devotee. If that Vaishnava is sincerely doing bhajan and trying to avoid all the bad actions which he has performed in the past, then one should forget about them. One should never So considering all these faults, 4 faults, if somebody criticizes the Vaishnavas, then he is known as Vaishnava Nindak. He is known as a criticizer of the Vaishnavas, devotees, and such a devotee will never get taste for the holy name. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, such a devotee will never get taste for the tahara kakho nahi namete ruchi hoibe na. That is why for many lives we are chanting, but we don't get taste for the holy name, because we have been envious for Vaishnavas for many lives. It's not just one life. And that is why chanting Nitai Gaur's name, immediately love comes. But sometimes we are not feeling instant love in Nitai Gaur's names also. Because Nitai Gaur's name, they don't consider any of the 9 offenses. But Vaishnava Aparadha is a little bit considered. Nityanand Prabhu may not consider so much, but Gauranga Mahaprabhu considers. Nityanand Prabhu forgives. If the aparadha is not done maliciously, then he engages those devotees like Chota Haridas and Kala Krishna Das and Damodar Pandit, and many devotees Nityanand Prabhu engaged in the Lord's service, even though Gauranga Mahaprabhu was not happy. So Nityananda's name, Nityananda's Leela, Nityananda's form removes all the offenses. Vaishnava Aparadha also. Nityananda namete hoy Vaishnava Ninda vaishai. Chaitanya Bhagavat 22nd chapter Madhya Khanda, it says that Nityananda Prabhu's name, Nityananda Prabhu's mercy removes even Vaishnava Aparadha by his mercy, which no other incarnation, even the Supreme Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, is not willing to forgive Vaishnava Aparadha. So Jagai Bandhai, because they never blasphemed the Vaishnavas, that is why the Nitai Gaura gave them causeless mercy, honor, Kripa Siddhi, honorary degree like Prem. So even Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu did not forgive even his own mother. Even his mother, she told that, "Oh Advaita, will he take my second son also? This Advaita is converting. He took Vishwarup." Like that, once only Sachimata spoke like that. That is also because of affection for Nimai. It was not because of against Advaita Acharya. But still, Nimai did not forget that. Sachimata forgot that she has spoken, but Nimai did not forget. In the Mahaprakash Leela, he was giving love to everybody. And Srivas Thakur said, "Shall I call your mother? My dear Lord, will you give her love?" So Mahaprabhu said, "No." So Srivas Thakur started crying. Srivas Thakur said, her name is Ai. She is known as Jagan Mata. She is the mother for all of us. She is your mother. She is the mother of the Supreme Lord. She has brought this love, to this world in the form of you. And if you don't give her love, your whole Leela, what is the purpose of your whole Leela? Just like he established the glories of Ekadashi via his mother, he is also trying to warn us about Vaishnava Aparadh in this Leela. When the Vaishnavas went to Sachi Mata and told her, Srivas Thakur asked the Lord, how can she be forgiven? So he said, she has to go and take the dust of Advaita Acharya on her head. So this news reached Advaita Acharya also. The Vaishnavas went to Advaita Acharya and said, the Lord is not forgiving your mother, she has to take your dust. And some Vaishnavas went to the Lord's mother also and told him, you have to take the dust of Advaita. And when Advaita Acharya heard it, he started beating his chest. He says, this is complete injustice. He said, how can the Lord ever ask his own mother to take the dust of my feet? I will go to hell. If the Lord's mother takes the dust of my feet, I can't live. So the Lord was playing a Leela with Advaita Acharya, because what happened once in Srivas Angan, the Lord was dancing and he became unconscious. And when he was unconscious, Advaita Acharya started stealing all the dust from the Lord's feet. In Chaitanya Bhagavad there is a Leela. When the Lord woke up, he said, somebody has stolen from me. I am not feeling well. So where is that thief? Bring him in here. So the Lord is now, giving back to him, to Advaita Acharya. So Sachi Mata immediately, and when he heard this news, Advaita Acharya went into a trance. He fell down on the ground, unconscious. He couldn't bear this thought. Because of him, Sachi Mata is not getting pure love. So at that time, Sachi Mata came to know that Advaita Acharya is unconscious. So she ran and she got the dust from Advaita Acharya's lotus feet. And immediately when she touched that dust, the Supreme Lord forgave her. Sersham Mahapurushate Padapam Shubhi. There is great power. Pure Acharyas, pure devotees. Narottam Das Thakur writes a beautiful song. Vaishnavera Padodako Sei Moro. Japa Tapa. Vaishnavera, anything connected to the Vaishnavas is my Manonishta. Sei Moro Manonishta. She is the cherished object in my life. So, the more respect we give to the Vaishnavas, the more the respect the Lord feels. And the more criticism we do to the Vaishnavas, the more the Lord goes away from us. That is very, very ironical, that nothing can destroy Bhakti. Bhakti is the integral part of the soul, and every life, wherever we stop, we are going to continue next onwards in Bhakti. Wherever we end, it's never destroyed. It goes with the soul. The Bhakti, the awakening of the soul is carried forward in every life. But this Vaishnava Aparadh can actually, what it can do is, it can suspend it. It can suspend our progress perpetually for millions of lives. Even if you are 50% advanced or 80% advanced in Bhakti, still your progress can become suspended perpetually. It can become suspended perpetually. So, So the best is seeing all these four things. It's the best, because we may judge some Vaishnavas, but actually that bad quality in the Vaishnavas may be happening due to being at the transition stage, Sandhikal. He cannot give up his bad vices. He is trying, but he cannot give up. And considering that, if we criticize that Vaishnava, again we get aparadh. So the best situation is not at all to get into that. I mean, just if you feel that some devotee has so many faults, and that devotee is duplicitous, hypocrisy is a thing which is very, very problematic. If a devotee is hypocritic and deceitful and guile, he has these qualities, then it's very difficult for us to avoid Vaishnava aparadh. It becomes very difficult for us to avoid. Our mind automatically goes to judge him, criticize him. So it is always very, very important that when we see the hypocrisy, duplicity without simplicity, humility in some devotee, and that devotee is using bhakti or using in some way with some other motives, then we should leave that association. We should avoid, because we don't want to criticize him also. And if we stay with him, then we become ourselves, we get those qualities. Bhakti Vinod Thakur says that real humility will come only in the association of simple-hearted devotees. Real humility will come only in the association of simple-hearted devotees, those who don't have crookedness in their heart. Then one can become really humble. Saralta, in Sanskrit he uses the word saralta. Saralta means the water flows like saral, taral and saral. The water is flowing. Similarly, a devotee, more advanced one becomes, one is totally free from all considerations. Like today I was answering questions on Facebook, writing all those quotes. Today you saw so many quotes I posted. You read. So I was feeling that writing actually is my main duty. I was feeling other considerations. Prabhupada said for a sannyasi, answering spiritual questions, discussing philosophy, removing the doubts of other devotees, and writing, enlightening others, that is the main duty. Even if a devotee, if a sannyasi stays in a cottage, it is fine. But as a main thing, like I personally become very happy when disciples or devotees ask me spiritual questions, because I get a chance to serve them by removing their doubts. I serve them, and by serving them I feel happy. Bodhayanta parasparam, to removing the doubts of aspiring devotees is more pleasing to the Lord than preaching to new people. Mad Bhakta, in the Gita, in the 18th chapter, the Lord says, Aidamam paramam guyam mad bhaktesha vidhasyati bhaktim mai param kritva mame vai. Beautiful verse. Krishna says that those souls, fortunate souls who give this confidential knowledge to my devotees, who remove their doubts, who give them nourishment to advance in bhakti, they are very dear to me. Priyataro bhuvi, nobody is as dear to me as them, and they come to me without any doubt. So everything is service. Even the guru should feel himself as a servant. It's only a designation, whether you are a sannyasi, brahmachari, vanprastha, and varna and ashram. Lord Gauranga said, Gopi bhartur pad kamalayor das dasanudas. So after one advanced sufficiently, one will see that preaching also is like a seva. Like Radha Rani takes the gopis to Krishna, she feels a lot of pleasure sending other gopis to Krishna. More than the Sakhis. The Manjaris, they don't go to Krishna anyway. But the Sakhis, Radharani sends other Sakhis to Krishna. And she feels happy. Similarly, preaching is like that. Especially to devotees. When you enlighten them. That's why when I travel, I give katha. I don't eat grains. I have to follow everything very strictly. In fact, I did not eat grains for almost 10 years. And because I want to give the highest nectar to the souls, who like a service to them. If my remembrance is very, very strong while speaking Hari Katha, then I can give them that opportunity to have a glimpse of that comes by sound vibration. So one will never get a taste in the holy name if one is judging Vaishnavas. In fact, Vaishnava Aparadha has very quick reactions. If you commit a Vaishnava Aparadha now, you will have a reaction within 24 hours. And if it depends on the level of the Vaishnava also. If that Vaishnava is a Mahabhagavat, you will have immediate reaction. If the Vaishnava is Madhyam Adhikari, it may take some time, Kanishta Adhikari, but you will have the reaction. And what kind of reaction? It may not be a material reaction. You may not get an accident or lose your hand or foot or something, but you will lose your taste in the holy name. You will lose the opportunity to have sadhu sangha or go to the dham. You will lose. It is only a matter of loss. That says loss. So, just like Vedvyas is raising his hands and telling everybody should do Ekadashi. I mean, Vrindavan Das Thakur is raising his hands and saying that everybody should avoid Vaishnava Aparadha. Nobody should. जिनी शुद्ध भक्तिर आश्रय करिया चिलेन तिनी शुद्ध वैष्णव पूर्वांत चारी प्रकारे दोष कथांचित ताहते लक्षित हईते पारे ताहार जन्य कोण दोष संभावना नहीं. Beautiful. This is from the Harinam Chintamani actually, Sadhu Ninda, the chapter. What Bhaktivinoda Thakur says is that if a devotee has taken ashray of Shuddha Bhakti, a Shuddha Vaishnava, Shuddha Parampara, Shuddha Sampradaya, Shuddha teachings, if a devotee has taken ashray of a pure Bhakti, and even though taking shelter of pure Bhakti, if the devotee is trying to practice pure Bhakti, but if you see these 4 faults in that devotee, they should not be seen as faults. They should not be criticized. They should not be analyzed. And tahate janya kon dosh sambhavna nahi. They are not actually faults. They are only temporary setbacks. Temporary. So, 11th question. भक्तिर लाभेरो सहज उपाय की. Now he is asking a positive question. What is the most powerful way to get bhakti? What is the most powerful way to get bhakti? Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Vaishnava jati buddhi tyag karya शुद्ध नाम परायण साधुर पद धूली देहे भक्ति पूर्वक नुक्षण करे बे. every time Bhaktivinoda Thakur surprises me. I mean, every time his instructions, his answers are super excellent. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that if you want to attain bhakti, one should give up this discriminating tendency towards Vaishnavas and one should approach a Shuddha Nama Parayana Sadhu. Now I cannot translate this in English, it's very difficult. So translate Shuddha Nam Parayan Sadhu. You know the meaning? You don't know the meaning. Okay, I'll translate it. Shuddha Nam Parayan Sadhu. Parayan means one who has taken constant shelter of Shuddha Nam. Parayan means shelter. The constant shelter of Shuddha Nam. You have to approach such a sadhu if you want bhakti, and you have to take his dust. Padadhuli dehe bhakti purvak mrukshan karibe. You have to take the dust of his lotus feet and apply all over your body. It's like mrukshan. Mrukshan means mrukshan means to rub. If you really want bhakti, we get in Raman Reti. In all great Vaishnavas have walked there, and wherever the pure devotees, the Shuddha Nam Parayan, remember the quality of that Vaishnava should be that Shuddha Nam Parayan Sadhu, should have taken shelter of the pure name. And a sadhu who has taken shelter of the pure name will also only speak about the name. That is a characteristic. Like Haridas Thakur, when Mahaprabhu came to Siddha Bakul and asked Haridas, you tell me about deity worship. 64 aparas in deity worship. Haridas Thakur said, sorry Mahaprabhu, I don't know them. I can only tell you about Naam. Haridas Thakur, but Mahaprabhu said, no, you are chanting Naam constantly, so all Vedas are dancing on your tongue. I am sure you know the 64 Seva Aparads also. Because all the knowledge is on your tongue. Anybody who chants Naam will get everything. Even deity worship, Archan Bhakti is also there in the Naam. So then Haridas Thakur described all the 64 Aparads. In Harinam Chintamani, it will come later in this chapter. So, that is the way to get pure bhakti. What a beautiful this seva, this Sundarananda Vidya Vinod has done in compiling this Vani Vaibhav. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur's writings are like pearls. They were scattered everywhere. He compiled all of them in the form of question answers. Ishwar Prabhu Burijan, his name Burijan, they translated, they published in English. Yeah, in Vrindavan. But I don't get that much nectar like in Bengali. Each answer I am explaining with some commentary also, so it gives a lot of meaning and importance. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur's writings become more sweeter if you go deeper into them. They become more sweeter. 12th question. Vishnu Mandire kahake pranam karile aparad seva aparad hoye. In the temple of the Lord, offering obeisances to whom is considered as seva aparad? Next question. देव विष्णु मंदिरे विष्णु देवता भिन्न अन्य कहा के अभिवादन करिबेन ना केवल स्वीय गुरुदेवे के अवश्य करिबेन. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur states that in the temple of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, to offer obeisances to anybody else except Lord Krishna is a seva aparad. And abhivadan, and to glorify anybody else except Krishna is a seva aparad. But one can certainly offer obeisances to one's own Gurudevs. Kintu swiya Gurudev ke avashya kariben. He's saying one can certainly offer obeisances Guru Parampara and Gurudevs. Krishna samsarati ki rupa. 13th question. What is known as the family of Krishna? What is Krishna's family actually? What kind of association is Krishna's family? But what kind? I just answered this before in one of the topics previously, just today. In Jaiva Dharma, he is saying that Krishna samsare kona prakare shathya nai, sampurna saralta vartaman shei khane aparad nai. Beautiful. He says that, before translating in English, I try to assimilate the nectar of the Bengali purport. That takes me some time to translate. So, in the family of the devotees, if there is no shathya, you can translate a deceit. You understand by deceit? No. Hypocrisy. What I call in German? Duplicity, hypocrisy. Other motive. Yes. So that is the one quality which is really taking the Lord away from us. Gurus, Vaishnavas and the Lord, they go far away from us because of that quality. In this world, material world, to survive, you need to be diplomatic. Duplicity. You need, nowadays, everybody is bent on cheating you. Cheaters and cheated. So, one needs to be diplomatic. But in Bhakti, this is the most worst of all qualities. It is more worse than being lusty, or more worse than being falling down, or it is the worst. Because if we are deceitful in the association of Vaishnavas, then we are deceitful to God Himself. We are cheating Him only. We are cheating ourselves. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that in that family of devotees where there is no hypocrisy, no self-interests, no duplicity, and everywhere saralta vartaman. Saralta means simplicity. Simplicity is pervading that family. In that place, there can be no offenses. There can be no offense. Because how can you be offensive when your heart is clean, clear, simple? You don't talk something front and then in the back you gossip about that Vaishnava, oh, he's like that, he's like that. You don't have that quality. So, and as Kali Yuga progresses, Bhakti, Kali Yuga's power is going to increase. So Maya will find this single loophole of Vaishnava Aparad and it will destroy big communities of devotees. This is the strongest weapon of Maya in Kali Yuga. Bhakti Marga. That's why Prabodhanand Saraswati says Shri Bhakti Marga ya Kantaka Koti Ruddha. This Marga of Bhakti, it is the only hope. But still this Marga of Bhakti is full with thorns. Because devotees are not taught to be careful of Vaishnava Aparadha right from the beginning. As recently I came today in contact, it was so sad. Young devotees, they are taught to blaspheme, criticize. Nobody is warned. Nobody is teaching. That's why Prabhupada did not like meetings. He says meetings, resolutions, revolutions, dissolutions, no solution. Because if in the meetings one is not careful, then the tendency is Vaishnava Aparadha comes in a big way. And in a meeting, if one person commits Aparadha, all the others become guilty. They all have to hear. And by hearing, one becomes an equal party. Because if you are not hearing, he would not speak. So you are encouraging him to speak. Actually, the person who is hearing is more offensive than the person who is speaking. Because he is making him speak. And because he is hearing, others are also hearing. So, Saralta. That is why Chaitanya Bhagavat was considered as the preliminary study in Gaudiya Math. When anybody used to come to Gaudiya Math, any new devotees, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was, have you read Chaitanya Bhagavat? So if they said no, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, so you read it first, then you read other books. Because anybody who reads Chaitanya Bhagavat will become so afraid of Vaishnava Aparadha. OBL Kapoor came and he was knowing Sanskrit, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, you forget Sanskrit, you read, learn Bengali and you read Chaitanya Bhagavat. Yeah, he wanted to read the Vedas. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Prabhupada was not just preaching, he was practicing. That was his greatness. He read Chaitanya Bhagavat 100 times. And Chaitanya Charitamrita 100 times. He was the only Acharya in the present times who has read both of these books 100 times. Imagine how much full he must be of Gaur Leela. And he should never forget what he is reading. He was Shruti Dhar. In fact, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji told him that to read Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita 100 times. If you want your Manjari Bhav, then read Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita 100 times. Anybody who used to come to Gaur Kishore Das to ask for that, he used to say that. First, Chaitanya Bhagavat will give you Nityananda's mercy and you will become free from Vaishnava Aparadha. And then Chaitanya Charitamrita will give you Madhurya Ras. It will give you the highest mellows of Radha Rani's love. I mean, there is no other higher book. To all the 6 Goswamis literatures, the essence is given by Krishnadas Kaviraj in Chaitanya Charitamrita. According to Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that Chaitanya Charitamrita is the essence. I was so happy when I also came to know that Bhakti Vinod Thakur also read Chaitanya Charitamrita first. And he became attracted. Means that was a Leela. But I also became attracted by Chaitanya Charitamrita. In fact, I remember when I used to see the photograph of Bhakti Vinod Thakur sitting with a bead bag, I feel so attracted at that time. Even though it was a painting, it was not an original photograph. But I used to feel very attracted to Bhakti Vinod Thakur, especially his big counting beads on his bead bag. And so I only hope that if the Lord wants me to take another birth, next time, right from my birth, I will worship Bhakti Vinod Thakur and our Acharyas, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and Prabhupada and Gauranga Mahaprabhu. That is the biggest risk, even for devotees, if they don't end their life, their progress in bhakti in this life. If they take another life, still there is no guarantee that they will start from birth. Many years may go. Even Nitya Siddha sometimes do this Leela. They forget Krishna from birth. Srivas Thakur, Murari Gupta, you see all their Leelas. Murari Gupta was doing other kind of Gyan, he was preaching. So the Lord came and passed urine in his plate. Nimai came. Murari Gupta was sitting and eating. Nimai came and passed urine in his plate. So Murari Gupta is saying, "What Nimai? What are you doing?" Nimai said, "You have left Shuddha Bhakti, pure Bhakti, and you are taking up all this Gyan, logic, Tarka, Nyay. It's like urine. Huh? You are eating urine." So even the Nitya Siddhas, they do that. So we should, like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he became a great astrologer, Surya Siddhant, Srimad Bhagavatam, and he could read faces. And some brahmacharis coming to Gaudiya Math, he would tell them, "You better get married because you can never stay brahmachari." Just by reading the face, he used to know that. So, but he gave up astrology. He was avoided the title Saraswati by the astrologers, the great. But he gave it up later when he became the Acharya. He said, astrology will only bring a lack of dependence on Krishna. Yeah. If you go to an astrologer, it means you have no faith in the Lord. Because even if your lines are written, your prarabdha karma, astrologer can tell you about your prarabdha karma. And if you are doing bhakti of the Lord, then your prarabdha karma is changed. The Lord can change it. So how can you have faith? If you know every moment the Lord is taking care of your life, managing your life, there is no need. Sir, I cannot practice it as an Acharya. If I practice it, then I will be setting the wrong example. But nowadays, astrology can be used as a medium to make others chant. But what's happening is, when I travel, so many people in India ask me first thing, they don't ask me whether you know Bhagavad Gita or you speak Gita. They ask me, "Can you tell us our future?" You put their hand like this in the trains. And if you tell them little bit which is true, they will do anything what you say. They will start chanting right from sitting in the chair right there. More than a doctor, like they go to a doctor and they hear his. It's like that. They start wearing rings, they do anything what the astrologer says. And if you tell them to chant like that, they will never chant. They will never chant. So it will change your life. सद गृहस्थेर की रूप व्यक्ति ते मुष्ट भिक्षा देवा कर्तव्य तादृश अवैध भिक्षा व्यवसायी दिगेरो જે ભિક્ષા દિયા ગૃહસ્થગણ અપરાધ કરીતે છે તદ્વારા તાહાદેરો ક્રમશઃ અવનતિ હોઈએ છે. এখন সমাজ সংস্কারের সময়ে এই কুপ্রাকৃতি রহিত করা চাই. কুপ্রাকৃতি তাহা হইলেই সদ্গৃহস্থের অবস্থা ভাল হইলে যুক্ত ভিক্ষুকের দুঃখ নাশ হইলে এবং সংসারের সাধারণ উন্নতি হইলে. અપાત્ર દિયેતે દાન તદ્દાન તામસા વિદુઃ. এই ભગવદ વાક્ય અવલંબન પૂર્વક સકલે સુપાત્ર દાન કરવું. Now this is another twist. In Sajjan Toshni, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is asking a question that what kind of offense can a grihastha commit? And one of the offenses a grihastha can commit, which will reduce the progress of the grihastha, is if the grihastha gives a donation to a wrong person. Kupatra means a person who will use it for sense gratification. તદ્વારા તાહાદેર ક્રમશઃ અવનતિ હૈયાત અપરાધ. So grihastha becomes offense, as it commits an offense if he gives a donation. કૃપ્રખાટી રહિત કરા ચાય. So in that way a dan will reduce the misery of the bhikshu, the recipient, if the bhikshu is also receiving it with a pure mind, pure heart, and the giver is also in knowledge about the recipient, and then the whole society can progress. But Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying, if people in this world keep on giving dan, donation, to those who are unqualified and those who are sinful, then the householders are actually destroying the moral fabric of the society. They are they are setting a very bad example. It will encourage people to. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, giving dan to an unqualified person is actually in tamoguna, the mode of ignorance. In fact, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is actually very strict, not only for grihasthas, for sannyasis. Bhakti Vinod Thakur said that sannyasis should eat only in those houses. They should accept donation, means the food, donation, charity, only from those houses who are chanting 100,000 names every day. Even to find that kind of sannyasi in this world is difficult. Because to find that kind of grihastha is difficult, who is chanting 100,000 names. Nowadays it's impossible. So, and those who are chanting 100,000 names, those grihasthas, they don't have time or they don't have the resources to give charity, because they have given up everything and they are chanting 100,000 names. So it's ironical, but still the more pure, even the grain, even if the sannyasi cooks himself, but the source of the grains is also important. Like the Tairthik sannyasi who came to Sachi Mata's house, he used to cook only in pure houses and then offer it to his Gopal. So it's very important. 15th, सर्वसाधारणेर निकट रस पान श्रवण और कीर्तन करा की अपराध नहीं. Hearing rasa lila, ras lila, Radha Krishna's intimate lila from an ordinary person, is that not an aparadh? Question is asked to Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Shri Radha Govindera श्रृंगार लीला रो गीत ओ श्रवण उभय प्रधान उपासना ओ नित्य भजन. एई भजन लीला सर्वसाधारणेर निकट गान. Radha Govinda Shringar Leela, the songs and the kathas, hearing them is actually the principal upasana, the means and the goal. And it is Nitya Bhajan, it is our eternal bhajan. To ei bhajan leela sarva sadharan ganero nikat gan kara anuchit o aparad. Sajjan Toshni Bhakti Siddhanta Viruddha Rasabhas. In one essay, Bhakti Vinod Thakur has written that bhajan leela, this kind of leela, he is not talking of the listener here, sorry, he is talking of the speaker. Sarva sadharan ganera nikat gan, if the speaker tries to narrate this leela, intimate leelas of Radha and Krishna in front of general audience who are not sufficiently qualified or purified, then it is considered as inappropriate and offensive. We'll read further, maybe he will give an answer. आपन भजन कथा ना कहिबे यथा तथा. एई आचार्य वाक्य विश्वास करिलई अर्थ व्यवसायी गायक दिगेरो मुखे रसगान श्रवण कर अपराध होइया उठे. Those who sing Radha and Krishna's Leela for material reward, or those who sing Radha Krishna's Leela for subtle reward of name, fame and adoration, is both gross and subtle. Both if they are singing Radha Krishna's Leela or narrating Radha Krishna's Leela for this purpose, then to hear the Rasagan will create a big offense. So one can hear Rasagan Shraddhan with Anushrayad Yata Varnanedya Bhaktim Param Bhagavati Pratilabhya Kamam Vidrogam Ashva Hinyot Achirena Thir. One can hear these Leelas, but one has to hear from somebody who is free from mundane lust. Yeah, he or she should not be speaking with any other desires, and there should be no critical mentality towards any Vaishnavas of the speaker. That's very important. If the speaker harbors critical mentality inside, in the heart towards any Vaishnava, then that critical mentality enters by the sound vibration. It goes into the ears of the listeners, and the listeners also develop that critical mentality. So ego should not be there. To describe Radha Krishna's Leela, one should be free from ego, false ego, because false ego is a barrier. With that barrier you can't enter into Madhurya Leela. Lord Shiva had to take form of a gopi even to come outside of the Ras Leela. So I can say that the qualifications of a speaker to speak Ras Katha are a few. First qualification is that speaker should be aware that speaking Rasa Katha to unqualified people is an offense. He should be aware. You should not speak Rasa Katha just for self-aggrandizement, or to show how advanced one is. One should never speak that. Second, that speaker should be saral, simple, no duplicity, no guile, no the heart. Third, that speaker himself must have heard Shuddha Katha, Shuddha Sangha, he must have read or whatever, realized, should be realized. And fourth, that speaker himself should feel unqualified to speak. Like Prabhupada, when he went to Mr. Bali's house in Mumbai, Vaijayanti Mala Bali, he was a famous film actress, and her husband went to Prabhupada, and he started a fountain in his house, nice decorations at night, and he told Prabhupada to sit. Prabhupada, can you please tell us about the Ras Leela? So Prabhupada started speaking. He says, Kam Prem Donara Vibhina Lakshan Lau Arhem Tara Swarup Vilakshan. He started describing the difference between lust and love. And he explained how there is no tinge of lust. Shukdev Goswami, who is renounced everything, he narrates the Ras. He is attracted to the Ras Leela. So the gopis were small. There cannot be any lust. Like that he was explaining. So, but they were not satisfied. They asked, no, please describe more intimate Leelas about the Ras Leela. After repeatedly asking, so Prabhupada said, I am sorry. You may think that you are qualified to hear it, but I think that I am not qualified to speak about it. Basically, Prabhupada knew that they were not qualified to hear about it. But if you tell them that like that directly, they may feel bad. So he said, I am not. Even it happened with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Once he went to Kolkata to meet an old friend, university friend, I think college friend. He was organizing this professional Ras Katha performances in his house. It was going on in the ground floor, in the hall. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati went and some professional reciter was speaking. So he did not sit. He directly went up the stairs to meet. Just went and sat. He left that place. He went and sat down in a room. And this friend came to him running. He says, oh, why are you not sitting? Such a nice program is going on. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati nodded that he doesn't feel bad. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, I am not qualified to hear that. Yes. So the greatness of the Mahabhagavats, who actually are qualified to speak about the Rasa Katha, is that they approach it with very carefully. Pujalo Raga Patha Gaurava Bhange. Sridhar Maharaj used to call this famous verse by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, how to approach Radha Krishna's Leela. Pujala Raga Patha Gaurava Bhange. Like Swami Prabhupada used to say that we worship Radha Krishna in our temples like Lakshmi Narayan. First, because nobody is qualified. In the Raganuga stage, you can actually worship Radha Krishna. In the Vaidhi Bhakti stage, you have to worship them like Lakshmi Narayan. The opulence. So, that's what this statement of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also states, that fools rush in where angels fear to tread. There is a saying in English. Similarly, a real Rasika, Acharya, or a Bhakta who knows the rasas of Radha and Krishna, such a devotee is very careful to explain that rasas, to describe them. Gaurava Bhange, respectfully one should approach Radha Krishna's Leela. That is why Brajavasis, they approach the Leela very directly. That's why we Gaudiyas don't associate too intimately with Brajavasis, because their mood is different and our mood is different. We don't pass judgment on anybody, but our mood is different. We don't even call Krishna, we don't even call Radha as Radha, we call her Hare, Hare. Hare is a way to keep Radha's name confidential. At the same time, it means Radhe. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas are so careful that is why the Maha Mantra does not have Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna. Because Radhe Krishna becomes very intimate. Whereas Hare Krishna means we follow the Maryada, proper way to approach Radha and Krishna. That is why the Maha Mantra is so sweet. The more secret it is kept, the more sweeter it becomes. Some people have changed the Maha Mantra. Some Nimbark Sampradaya, they chant Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Yeah, Hare Maha Mantra was the mantra in all Sampradayas before. But slowly got changed. Radhe Sham, Sham Sham. They say, why indirectly, why not directly? Radha's name. But Hare is not indirect. It is actually also direct name, but it is confidential. Name of Radha Rani. So, of course, there is no taboo in saying Jai Radhe or Radhe Sham, Radhe Krishna. There is no, one can chant any time. But I am just explaining how we should approach carefully, and especially one should hear from pure devotee, one who is a Rasika in this kind of matters, one who is actually intimate to Radha and Krishna from the Radha Madhav Antaranga. One should hear, unless one is capable, one should not speak. One can explain generally, but one should not speak the Leelas of Govinda Leela Amrit or Krishna Bhavna Amrit or Krishna Kaumudi or Gita Govinda or Krishna Karna Amrita or Ujjwal Neelmani, Lalitama, Vidagdha Madhava, Uddhav Sandesh. One should not dwell into those unless one is. And you may ask, if I am not qualified directly to think about Radha and Krishna's intimate Leela, then what is my hope? That also is given by our Acharyas, that Gaurang Gunete Jure Nitya Leela Tare Spure Se Radha Madhava Antaranga. For those who feel unqualified to directly immerse in the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna, they should dive deep in the ocean of Gauranga's Leela, Gauranga's name, Gauranga's dham, Gauranga's form. And when you will see Gauranga in your meditation, which will be very, very quickly, Gauranga's bhajan is very easy. So when you meditate on Gauranga, you will see him very quickly in your bhajan. And when you will see Gauranga very quickly in your bhajan, you will see that Gauranga is crying. He is thinking of Radha and Krishna. He is meditating on Nitya Leela of Radha and Krishna. Every moment he is thinking about what Radha and Krishna are doing right now. You will see that. And then through the mercy of Gauranga, through his mood, through his vision, through his bhav, through his realization, we will enter into Radha and Krishna's Leela. And then one will be safe. There will be no aparadh. That is the way to attain Radha Krishna. Narottam Das Thakur repeatedly says in that song, many other places, what is that? Gauranga Duti pada jara dhana sampada che jane bhagati rasas Gaurange rasangi gane nitya siddha kari mani. To the extent you develop faith in Gauranga's associates, to that extent you will see the associates of Radha and Krishna. You will become close to them. So that way I will conclude. Today we have reached up to 14, 15, 16, so 15th. Questions? Thank you very much. Any questions? So anyway, it's very nice, and we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you. Hare Krishna.